Okay, we're live. Good morning, everybody. My name is Uzair from SF Digital Studios, and thanks for joining in for this 10 minutes hangout. I'm pleased to say that I've got Emma Austin from Enterprise Tax today joining us in this live event. And Emma is going to give us some top tips on top tips on better profits. So, hello, Emma. Welcome. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you, and delighted to be joining you this morning.
No, thanks for coming in and thank you for your time. But before we start, could you give us a quick introduction of who you are and what you do?
Certainly. I'm a chartered tax advisor, and I work very much on the commercial side of tax advice, working with business owners. So not any tax avoidance schemes. Very much just looking at, if a business is buying or selling property or putting in a share scheme, making sure that they do everything by the book and pay the right amount of tax and know more on what they're doing.
Good.
Okay.
And how long have you been running your business?
We're just going into our 6th year of working in practice. Before that, I worked as a financial controller and a finance director in industry. So I do come from a fairly practical background, although say 6 years in practice just about coming up for me.
I know your business is also growing because you moved premises last week, and it's a wonderful place where you moved to. So, what sort of clients you look for? Are they small to medium sized businesses or big enterprises?
Or small to medium-sized businesses, absolutely. The main thing that we find works well for us is businesses who are growing or maybe want a little bit more from their accountant.
Okay.
We do meet clients who say they'd love it if their accountant would actually come out and visit them and work with them in a more hands-on way. And they're the sort of people that we find we work well with.
Okay, cool. So let's get started with your top tips for better profitability. So you wanted to talk a little bit about setting up targets and goal settings.
Absolutely, yeah. So one of the things we do with our clients, even the very small businesses, is help them have a little bit of a plan. And we might only see the small businesses once a year. And we might talk about what their plans are and what their sales target and their profit target is for the year. Very small businesses might not need a full business plan. They might just go with just a few targets. And what struck me over the few years we've been doing this is if you have a business owner who sat in a room with you and maybe their business partners and agreed the targets, even if we don't see them for a year, when we see them again, they'll say, oh, nothing worked out like we thought it was going to. You look at the numbers and they've come in more or less on target. And I think what happens is if you know roughly what you're aiming for in terms of sales across a year, then you know what you're aiming for in a month. And so you know if one month is down on target or the next month needs to be up on target. And I think it just gives business owners that sense of direction. And especially as businesses start to grow, it's really easy to lose sight of that and get embroiled in the day-to-day, whatever it is for your business, fixing the shredder, seeing clients. You get so engrossed in the operational stuff that goes with running a small business. Absolutely. So targets, I think, for small businesses, absolutely essential for success.
In your experience, what sort of percentage of businesses set targets? And if it's a low percent, why is that? Is that the fear of not hitting those targets?
It is a fairly low percentage. And interestingly, we work with some bigger businesses who manage on little more than a sales plan. They don't have a full budget. Sorry, Oz, just remind me of the second part of your question.
And is the reason being so few companies set targets? Is it because of the fear factor that if they don't hit the target, they may feel that they are failing in the business, but they should use these targets and goals to aspire
Yes, I think targets should be achievable. I think part of it actually is that the business owners don't feel sufficiently in control of the business, and that maybe the sales just happen and it depends on the market at large or the time of year. So the key thing, I think, is to make sure that you feel in control of how you're going to get those particular sales.
Sorry, I should have switched my phone off. Okay. No, thanks for that. Now let's move on to the margins.
So margins, for me, go hand in hand with setting targets. And a lot of business owners, you say margin and they start to look a little bit doubtful. Oh, it's a bit technical. They don't really want to talk about their margins for their business. And that, I think, is true up to reasonably large businesses again. But I would say, actually, the reason we're all in business isn't often that, we just want to create jobs or do good accounts, is that we're trying to make money out of it.
Yeah.
And if you have a goal for how much income I need out of our business, you actually do need to know what margin you're making on what you're doing to know how many sales you need to generate in a year to make that money. And I think it's staggeringly easy to work out your margins. And your accountant should be able to do that for you. You sit and look at last year's accounts, look at the years before accounts, and have a quick calculation. And it may not predict what this year's margins are going to be, but it might well be indicative that if you do the same as you did last year, you're only going to make 30% on all of those sales. And what that means is if you wanted to get £30,000 out of your business, you need to do 100,000 of sales. And for a lot of business owners, in fact, I pretty much would have to say all of them that we work with, they overestimate what their actual margin is. There is always a reason that last year was different.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't know your margins, I would say you're never going to really know how to get the money you want out of your business, and you'll end up with a big business, very successful looking business, which never quite delivers what you're expecting it to you.
And a lot of business owners concentrate on the turnover and not on the margins, and that's where they can potentially go wrong.
Yes, absolutely. With some businesses, when we actually look at their margins, they might say have 5 services they offer. And you look at the margin on each of those. And so far, we haven't had it happen that we don't find one of them is loss making, and quite often 2 or 3. They're only making profits on some of the things they do. So in actual fact, you can increase your profits dramatically just by stopping doing the things that make losses for you.
Yeah, that's very true. Okay, then on to our last point, which is to keeping informed. And so what would you advise on that?
So if you've set yourself some targets, it's absolutely imperative that you actually monitor how you're doing towards your target across the year. Put some graphs up on the wall, have something up on the fridge, so that you just keep coming back to where you are in relation to your target. And actually the world has changed a lot over the past few years with the range of really interesting cloud bookkeeping packages like Xero and I think QuickBooks. There's a whole range out there. I know business owners that we work with love Xero. And as an accountant, I'm impartial, but I know that it enables business owners to really monitor their sales and their profit very easily month after month. So you know what profit you need to make monthly. You know what you need to do differently next month to make a bit more money. So I can't recommend those kind of bookkeeping packages enough to help people to monitor how their business is doing.
We personally use Xero for our business, and we absolutely love it. It just gives us all the KPIs and the dashboards which we need to look at. And prior to using Xero, we didn't have this information on our fingertips, and it was a very tedious process of getting the information from our accountants once every quarter, especially when the wet quarter needed to be done. Then we would know that exactly what's happening in our company. But with such great, simple, and easy to use software, does help small businesses keep an eye on their KPIs.
Yes. And also, I would say from the accountant's perspective, you get dual logins to most of these systems. So you might be able to do 90% of what needs doing, but your accountant may just log in and, I don't know, post your salary journal, depreciation, and that's just invaluable because it can take minutes, and it keeps your professional fees clearly much lower as well.
Yes, when I'm stuck, I'm on the phone to Louise. I said, Lou, I'm stuck. Can you please have a look at this transaction?
Yes.
I messed something up. And she'll log on straight away at the other end, and she will go in there and get it sorted. Not a problem.
And we do that for our clients, and it makes the business owner feel so much more empowered about their finances. Your financial information is no longer something that just belongs to your accountant. It's totally yours. And I love the fact that business owners can feel like that about their finances and use that information. You're not getting it 3 months after, when really it's no use to anyone.
Or it's too late.
Yes, yes. Yes, we can tell you it would have been good if you'd done this, but yeah, you can't do it now.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time, for joining in today.
That's a pleasure.
Taking time out of your busy schedule. And thank you for everyone for watching in or watching this recording as well after the live event has finished. Please do comment, share, or subscribe to our channel for more Hangouts. Till the next one, bye-bye. Thank you, Emma. Bye for now.
Bye.